this country. This is something which we decided on some, I think, 8-9 years back, when all taxes were removed on exports. You had to balance the budget. The only commodity which could produce requisite revenues to keep our budget on course was fuel. Definitely had to put taxes there. That's why for a long time people have been complaining that our fuel is more expensive than one of the neighboring countries, although by today I was checking, it hit yesterday 941 francs, and which he converts into 3,600, because they have also seen that what they were doing is not sustainable. They have removed the subsidies. We have subsidized some strategic areas like electricity. You know that we spend we are spending close to $100 million every year.
Well, this year we're spending $212 million.
Okay. $1 million just to subsidize electricity. Taking this into fuel, I don't know how sustainable it is. I don't want to speak on behalf of Minister of Finance. Basically, myself as an economist, I won't go in for that. Subsidizing fuel won't be a solution. It will cause other problems. The problem it will cause, you start enlarging the budget deficit, and when you cause a budget deficit, this is the biggest driver of inflation, even more than the prices of fuel, which can change in time. But when you start having these recurrent deficits, big deficits, definitely you will affect monetary policy. It will drive prices up, and will cause problems. And of course, these kind of subsidies are not sustainable. You know very well that, again, when you say reduce taxes on fuel, you must tell me and put them where. Because the equation has to balance.
Let's look at it briefly. This is a stopgap measure. We have a drought, which is probably going to end, so food prices could come down. They contributed almost 30%. Food prices rose almost 30%, so they contributed a large factor to the inflation.
Yes.
Is it not wise? Is it not possible for government, for instance, to draw from the reserves, the foreign reserves, and fill that gap of reduced taxes on fuel until things stabilize? Maybe while prices.
I don't know how sustainable that would be. The Minister of Finance will be giving a statement.
Maybe 6 months.
The Minister of Finance will be giving a statement. I don't want to preempt her statement, but definitely I'm talking as Nyombi Tembo here, and as an economist, I wouldn't go in for subsidies that are not sustainable.
Well, you can do a stopgap measure, for instance.
No. No stopgap. I don't want to go into cosmetics. So when you go into cosmetics, you cause a problem.
No, you
this inflation.
Relief. There's such a thing as relief.
This inflation, I want to tell people, is temporary. The inflationary pressure we are facing today is temporary. People should understand that at one time in this country, inflation had reached 216. This government is the one which brought inflation to single-digit trends. We watch inflation on a daily basis. We know it's subsidized to go down, but we shouldn't go in for desperate measures. By the way, I think I should also handle this.
Yes.
Walter went a bit personal. I don't want to go personal. Walter, really, I'm not protecting my bread. Of course, you are not giving me bread by throwing what you have thrown at me. Because when you say that, Tembo, you are protecting your bread, it's like I don't have a brain, my children are listening. It's not bread. Assuming as working somewhere as an economist, you wouldn't be throwing this at me. So really, I'm not protecting my bread. Just because I'm a public officer, I've come here to say what I... Really, I'm not protecting bread. Okay. Since you know that you haven't given me bread, actually you are humiliating me. Okay. But I have to take it because I'm a public officer. But I'm saying what I believe. And let me tell you, I'll say this and this time again. Whether I'm a minister or not a minister, whether I'm a member of parliament, I'll say what I believe in. As an economist, as somebody who has been here for some time, I know how things work. Jimmy, what law did they break to work? In Kampala's metropolitan area, 70% of the people walk.
Yes.
The people who were arrested, I don't think there were even 20. Most people walked on Monday. Very many people, a million people walked. They were not arrested.
Yes.
A few of them were arrested. That means a few were arrested. The issue was not only walking. There was other motives behind the walk.
Walking
has no problem. Walking has no problem. William, what law have they been broken by walking? What law are they broken? Of course, I think that's what appetite, the laws were legal. But here, Honorable Reagan, you remember, when we were moving to multi-party dispensation, we developed a framework for demonstration. Even we involved these justice, law and order. I think those people who support us.
Jealous, yes?
Yeah, jealous. We involved them. We put these guidelines very, very clearly, and these guidelines, go and read them. All of you people who are listening to us, you go search for those guidelines, read them. The police all the time had to be involved.
All right.
Whatever you are doing, a peaceful demonstration, whatever, the police has to be involved.
All right.
Especially after these terrorist attacks after July.
Right.
We're even advising people that when you have a function of more than 20 people, out of courtesy, not casually, tell the police officially so that we can protect, police can protect you.
Briefly.
Honorable Okumu.
First of all, I think to Abdallah, I think what he said is really shallow. I don't want to waste my time on it.
Yes.
Really.
Okay, go on.
To Mr. Were, when he said we must explain as cadres to the population. Let me tell you.
I think it's going to the NRM.
I am personally, I have gone to San Kwanze for 3 months. This thing of explaining, and then after explaining, you don't get the bread on your table. Words alone will not make a man live. A man must live by bread as well.
But not bread alone.
So even if NRM goes out to tell people if there is a cost of living is increasing, if unemployment is there, if there is violation of human rights, that is not going to be enough. Lastly, I want government and the public to know that part of the biggest challenge this government faces is one, spending priorities.
Yes.
What is this government's priority? They mostly spend in unproductive area.
Which one?
If you spend in unproductive
which areas are you
definitely
Like what?
you are not going to get much.
Which
Like
areas
what?
are you talking about?
No, you see, for example, you know, my brother, he has just been in election. You
Yes.
know how much they spend.
On what?
You know, in buying votes. You know, now,
But
now
we didn't buy votes. Whatever money we spend,
listen. So
that
at the
was
end of the
NRM
day,
money.
Yes.
My party.
when you are spending priorities,
We are not
it's
spending
right.
government money.
You are in trouble.
Okay.
You don't have money. When you are renting a house, you have not even bought a house. How do you be proud even to say you have money? NRM doesn't have money. They rely on tax.
But how would we be spending on
Then
elections
then the other
to
point.
defeat you at the same time?
Then the other
investing
point.
in capital
Yes.
expenditure.
Then the other
to
point
build
is about
our headquarters.
Okay.
expenditures.
Yes. Briefly.
Where government spends, you know, government must also be able to really know and say, because you see the public is critical. If the cost of living is going high and people are dying, and for you go for buying military hardware.
Yes.
And then, you know, at a time like this, you know, buying military hardware is not bad, but the priority and the timing must also go with what is pinching people more. And then corruption. This is about the same time that you know how corrupt this government is, and you know how corrupt this government has been.
I want to.
You look at the Auditor General's report.
The government
look at the Auditor General's report.
It can be individuals. Some individuals in government may be
but
corrupt.
you condone them. But you
There's no way government can be corrupt.
condone them.
And
That's why we say
and
the entire government
General
is corrupt.
Auditor General have
You
never
condone
said
them.
government is corrupt.
So
It is
the point is-
individuals.
Okay.
Some
If
officers.
you want to address
Yes.
some of these problems,
Yes.
fight corruption.
Right.
We are doing it.
You are not.
Okay.
You're not.
have
The fellows
to-
are working even shamelessly
All
with their
right.
head high
Well
on the
My
street.
friend,
Then the
people have
public
been convicted.
Then the public.
People have been convicted.
All right.
Have you convicted Amam Babazi over time ago?
We have to end here. Thank
We
you very
did
much,
convict him in
guest.
Parliament.
Honorable George
We did
William
the- can-
Tembo. Honorable Reagan Okumu, thank you for coming onto the spectrum.
If you have a case, it will be.
The art of crafting a masterpiece.
We are proud to offer you Nile Gold Crystal Malt Lager, made from the finest crystal malt at the finest brewery with the finest, purest water from the source of the Nile. Naturally, there are no additives or preservatives and no sugar. It is